going on with respect to the core concepts of cloud. So let us brief on what is a platform. So a platform is anything you can leverage to accomplish something in a simpler, faster, or otherwise better way than you could without. So platform is something where you can keep your databases managed, administration of the database, operating system management. So those things can be falls under the platform as a service by cloud. In this particular service, mostly the developers take part, and they developed, they manage and they maintain the application for providing variety of service to end user. As a programmer, your leverage pre-existing code rather than starting from scratch and with everything. So for that, we use APIs and we use desktop operating systems for development of the application. Now here you can see the correlation between software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So we have seen some examples like here, software as a service can be done with the help of customization. Platform as a service can be handled along with some good known examples like DevOps. And infrastructure communicates with platform, platform communicates with software. And this is how platform as a service is a middle layer crucial service. Now, as a part of platform as a service, a cloud platform offers an environment on which developers create and deploy application. Example, they decide the size of the VM where they want to locate that application, and then they start working on that. Different programming languages like PHP, Java, Ruby can be used for the development of the application. And we can have different databases also as a part of backend for those applications. Even web-based consoles to create applications can be done using dashboard. That we have seen with our practical part of IBM Bluemix. So web platform like the infrastructure or hosting layer is analogy to desktop computing hardware, and the platform layer is analogy to a desktop operating system. Additional features such as email distribution, list, contact for handling e-commerce options, and other tools that make it easier to build and run the website are part of one of the most ever hosting services that has been offered as a part of web hosting platform. Now, what are the goals of platform as a service? The ultimate goal of platform as a service is to make it easier for you to run your website or web application no matter how much traffic is there. So the ultimate thing is that if your web application demands for more number of users, your system should be prepared for that. Now, good known examples for that. Face app. Have you heard about Face app?
Yes, sir.
So what is that Face app? Anyone you want to brief?
So it's an application which is available on your mobile, rather. So you just like click a pic of any human face, and like it will have some filters, and you just use it.
Okay. See, Face app was a small application, but suddenly what happens is with Face app, the demand of the Face app got increased so much that more number of users want to access that and want to change their facial details to a different version of their face, like an older face or a young face or a baby face like that. So Face app, the demand got increased, and since the demand got increased, the server capacity was also need to be scaled up because people are clicking images from 8 megapixel, 16 megapixel, 48 megapixel cameras. So which is again a kind of a high resolution image need to be processed at the server end. So this is what actually the goal of platform as a service. So if more number of responses are coming, it's the duty of the middle layer platform as a service to handle those responses. You can see this example where business or individual can look forward for a web browser, and with the help of a software they communicate the platform as a service. Now this platform as a service might have predefined APIs which are for Python web server, for data store service, image service, mail service, calendar service, any service is there. And they communicate to the data centers through the APIs. And data center might be loaded with an OpenStack or Azure or Ubuntu private cloud or Google App Engine, anything. It's this platform as a service who act as a middle layer between the software as a service and the infrastructure as a service for delivering the variety of services that is being there. Even management of the crucial issues, scaling the system up for the application and making the application comfortable to be executed by those much number of people is again a duty of platform as a service. Now here is a good example. You can just watch this particular diagram where you can easily see that we have service users and we have service provider. Service user look for utilization of the services, and service provider looks forward for management of the services. Service providers are also responsible for deployment and management of the infrastructure interface. And in the bottom layer, there are different virtual machines which are created on the physical infrastructure management layer, where you can see physical hardware is there, where we have virtualized resources, virtualization layer is there on the top of hardware and operating system. So infrastructure provider are there which can be service provider or which cannot be service provider. So infrastructure providers are there. Infrastructure providers are connected with the service providers, and service providers manage all the services for the user, and user utilize those services. So this is a very crucial and important diagram as a part of platform as a service. I want you to go through with the diagram.
So,
Yes.
so what is this infrastructure management layer?
Infrastructure management layer is a layer which takes care of the virtualization layer and the virtual machines. So infrastructure management layer manages the infrastructure, physical and virtual.
So the users are accessing just the services, and the deployment and infrastructure is managed by the service providers.
Right.
So how is this a platform? Because the services are only utilized by the users. They have nothing to do with the deployment thing. So how is it a platform as a service?
See, platform as a service is responsible for the middle management. When it comes to infrastructure, infrastructure is managed by infrastructure as a service, right? And services are software services are used by software as a service. So this middleware development deployment is handled by the platform as a service. So here you can see the software as a service users and infrastructure provider. So in between all what is running is taken care by the platform.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now in this particular model, you can easily see the application layer, platform, and resources. So in the application layer, you can easily see that there can be analytical data that can be collected. Even there can be a transactional data that can be connected. Even there is a interactive data that can be connected. Even browsing related data can be collected. So in application layer, we can collect this particular data, and this particular applications can be responsible for giving user providing user with a better services. On the other hand, when we talk about the platform, which is one of the most crucial component to host the application, platform is a layer which communicates and checks its compatibility with the infrastructure resources and host those applications which are provided to the user by the application layer. So here we have web servers, application servers, reporting tools, ESB, cache, MySQL, database. In terms of computing framework, there can be transactional and dispatching and analytical and scheduling things. So that is there. Here in this layer, you can see this ESB, which takes a very crucial role. So ESB is nothing but it's an enterprise service bus. And what is the use of ESB? ESB is used for the communication between mutually interacting software application in service oriented architecture. So in service oriented architecture, the role of ESB is to provide communication between all the software applications and software oriented architecture component. So that is what actually there. If there are two products, two frameworks, if there are two applications, then their communication handling and role of application and platform and infrastructure handling, that can be good taken care by the ESP. Finally, we will go down to the resources part, where we have virtualized resources, which can be virtual servers, virtual storage, virtual network, which can be created on the physical resources, which include physical server, physical storage, and physical network. So this is what actually the core of the functionality of application platform and infrastructure layers. Just go through the slide once and do ask for questions.
So what was the full form of ESB?
Enterprise service bus, and it is used for handling the communication between service oriented architectures component, majorly software applications. Mutual interaction it takes care of. It's a middleware basically, kind of between application and platform handling. Got it, Avi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll continue with the next portion that we need to discuss in today's class. I'll stop presenting here, and I'll stop the recording as well.